Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome back to another Power Rangers Legacy Collection review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Legacy 6-inch figures Series 2. This is the second wave of Bandai's brand new collector's-based 6-inch scale Power Rangers Legacy line, which is designed to eventually get every Ranger team out, and each Ranger comes with a piece to build a Megazord. Unlike Marvel Legends and DC Multiverse, each wave does not build a Megazord, but each Power Rangers team does, with 6 Rangers including extra accessories in place of Megazord parts. Now, I did previously review Series 1 of these figures, which contained the Mighty Morphin Red and Green Rangers and the Ninja Storm Red, Blue, and Yellow Rangers. So, continuing my Morphin trend, this series has Blue, Black, and Pink, and also starts the Power Rangers in Space team with Red and Yellow. So really cool. I like how it has all 5 main Power Ranger colors in the wave, despite being from 2 different teams. Packaging is fantastic, as with Series 1. It is really good. I love the colored lightning bolts for each of them. You can see on the back, you got how to build each Megazord, plus what figures are in Series 2. So that's the whole thing there. Now, there is this little thing that says limited edition down here, and Bandai did explain this as being this wave is being released once. Once Wave 3 comes out, Wave 2 is not being produced any further. They are not sticking around, okay? Unlike Marvel Legends and DC Multiverse, which tend to stick around because they ship them out multiple times, these will not be shipped out as much. So if you do want these figures, you need to be getting them relatively quickly. You can wait for them to hit stores. For example, these hit online, and some stores 2 or 3 weeks before most did. Once Black Friday week rolled around for my targets, all of them got them. So it is good to keep an eye out. I personally ordered these from ToysRUs.com because I did not want to miss out on any of them, especially when trying to complete the teams and build the Megazord. So really important to keep a note of that. Like I said, though, they just hit. You can get them also from Big Bad Toy Store. They sell Series 1 and 2 as sets or as cases. But yes, I would recommend not waiting on these too long, as you could miss out on them entirely. As for case assortments, those curious, they do ship in cases of 6, just like with Series 1. Series 1, the extra in the box was the Green Ranger. In Series 2, it's actually the Pink Ranger, marking the first time in Bandai of America history where they packed a female Ranger in more quantities than a male Ranger for an action figure case. Really cool. Now, enough about these boxes, enough about this wave. Let's get to look at the actual figures. Here we have the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger. First things first, he comes with the Triceratops leg of the Dino Megazord, so we'll put that off to the side for later. And he does come with a Blade Blaster in its closed form here, as well as the holster for it to go into. We'll just peg that onto his belt. So, this is basically the same mold as the Red Ranger from Series 1, as you can see. Now, they did modify one thing and then didn't fix something else. So, let's get into the issues. Most of the issues that occur with Mighty Morphin Blue are the same for Black and Pink. First things first, you'll notice the belts. 2 things have happened. For some reason, the belts are now silver. Bandai said this was a mistake, and they wanted to try to correct it before they got released, but it was unable to. And they have removed the lightning bolts from around the Morpher. As you can see, the black lightning bolts were painted in. They are no longer painted in. What's odd is the original prototype for the Red Ranger had a silver belt and no lightning bolts. So, I don't know what happened here. It's kind of weird. I'm going to get over it eventually. If you really don't like this, you can probably paint it over. Add the black paint the belt white. It is slightly annoying, though. I will say that much. It is annoying. First, that's pretty much the only major problem with it. The helmet sculpt is much better on him than it is on him. I don't know what it is about this, and I think I figured it out after seeing these 2 next to each other. Red and Green's helmets are undersized, and they're not really well proportioned to the rest of the body. While Blue, Black, and Pink, they have the proper sized helmets, which White and Yellow should follow that trend. So that's pretty cool, honestly. At this point, Bandai has not released the Ranger's personal weapons yet for Mighty Morphin. If there's a 5-pack with their weapons and, you know, these with the correct belts, these with the correct helmet sizes, and you just do the main 5 Rangers again, I'm not going to be opposed to getting that. I would like to see those corrections made. It would suck having to double dip on figures, but if you can get over these little things like that, maybe and the lack of weapons, then you don't need to rebuy them. But you know, maybe for those of you that do not want the Build-A-Figure Megazord, you might want to just wait to see if Bandai does correct these in the future. Also, it's Mighty Morphin. They have been released as figure arts and Legacy, 5-inch, and 2010, and they've been done so many times. The other major improvement here, and I want to see if we can get an audible listen to this. It's hard to hear, but it has ratcheted shoulder joints now. The Red Ranger was designed to do that, but it's like super loose. Like most of the joints in the Red Ranger have become very loose. Bandai has ratcheted some of the joints in the new wave of figures. So they are much sturdier, which is wonderful. I'm glad that quality control like that has already gone up from the previous series. But same articulation as Red, but I'll go over it for the first time in this video. You have a neck that goes up and down, left and right, so you can get some cool head poses there. You got this ab crunch joint, which I love how the paint is there so that it continues. You have the left and right waist swivel. Shoulder joints move out, they rotate, they swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows, a glove rotation, and a triple jointed wrist, as in it moves there, and it's ball jointed. Do not recommend popping those off. Did not have fun experience with the Green Ranger. So you got hip joints that are universal, thigh swivel that does move, double jointed knee, boot rotation, and an ankle forward and back, which is ratcheted, and left and right. So this guy does have a wide range of poses. The problem is he has no Tricera lances, so it just doesn't work out too well. Posing is limited. I mostly don't pose my Mighty Morphin Rangers with weapons. Like, even my figure arts for a time, I didn't have them with weapons. My favorite season of Mighty Morphin is Season 3, so not having the personal weapons doesn't matter to me too much since they didn't use them, I think, at all that season, except maybe the Black Ranger used his cannon once, and, you know, White Ranger used Saba, but for the most part, Season 3, they didn't use them, and that's my favorite season of Mighty Morphin, so the 2 and 3 era of Mighty Morphin is more my thing than the Season 1, so not having the weapons doesn't personally affect me, but it is a big drawback to the Mighty Morphin Rangers. Speaking of Mighty Morphin Rangers, let's take a look at the Black Ranger. Now, Mighty Morphin Black has always been my favorite suit design of the original Mighty Morphin Rangers, and I'm really happy to have it in a highly articulated format. I've always thought this design works because the white that all the Mighty Morphin Rangers had worked so well with black. Black and white are great contrasting colors, and he just looks slick. Lack of a power axe, yeah, slightly a problem, but look at this guy. He just looks really good. That's the thing, they look really good. Sure, they're not 100% accurate. They're not like the slim Japanese build of the stuntmen. They have been muscled up a bit, but it's not like the basic 5-inch figures, which just look ridiculous. These actually look realistic, and a lot of the Ranger actors are in really good shape, so it's kind of fits that theme. They are a little overdone, I will say that much, but overall, I think the art style for these is pretty good. Articulation is the same, belt issue is the same, ratcheted joints work even better on this guy than on Billy, and it is perfect for you fans of Zach and Adam. If you're not trying to collect the Megazord or the entire team, definitely pick this up if you're a fan of the character. This is probably, I mean, including the figure art, I think this is overall the best version of the character, because the figure art, its helmet was a little off, I thought, personally, but more so the figure art just was expensive, and it had a lot of loose joints, at least on mine. So I'm glad to see this nice, tight, articulated figure, and it's a nice $20 price point, so really easy to get to. Really cool, really like him. Let's move on to Pink. Before we move on to Pink, just wanted to mention he does come with the left arm of the Megazord, which is appropriate since it is from the Mastodon Zord, which is his own. So there's that. Here we have Mighty Morphin Pink Ranger. First things first, she comes with the right arm of the Megazord. Since her Zord was the Pterodactyl, which was on the chest plate, which was on the torso that came with the Red Ranger, she just comes with the other arm. So there's that. This is our first female Mighty Morphin Ranger and our first Pink Ranger for the Legacy line, so let's take a little bit closer of a look at her. Really fantastic. Honestly, the Legacy female body mold is probably the best female body mold Bandai has made for any of their figure lines. Really nicely proportioned. They even got ab muscles, which is great because female figures, especially in the basic line, just get slim. They don't get, like every male character gets muscled up, but not the females. Strength and abs on females is not a sign of manliness. It is a sign of strong build, body, and characteristics. So I like seeing that reflected here. I like that the Ranger figures are really imposing looking and strong while also being the heroes for kids. I think it's a good, role model for them. So really glad to see that's finally transitioned to female Rangers. Same silver belt issue. Her Blade Blaster holster is about the right size. I was a little worried it'd be oversized since it's the same part. And her actually holding this Blade Blaster is not so bad either. It doesn't look off. I mean, what looks off is the fact that she's holding the storage mode and not actual weapon mode, but it doesn't look oversized, which is perfectly okay by me. The holster fell off. So yeah, articulation-wise, she's got the same neck joint as the male Ranger, so the up and down, left and right can get into slightly kind of ball jointed poses, which is nice. Shoulders, they rotate 360 universal joint. She's got a bicep swivel and elbow bend. It's a single joint, but works as well as the double joints in the male Rangers. Triple joint wrist, can get all kinds of action there. Ball joint torso instead of ab crunch. It is a little loose, like highly loose, like she can do this. But it actually holds. It's like loose, but holds. Weird phrasing there, but yeah. She's also got a waist joint on top of that. Her hips, the skirt is cut, so she does have a good range of movement. It's a natural range of movement. Thigh swivel here, which works better than the male Rangers. Her legs can't really move forward that much because of the skirt. I mean, if you really manipulate it, you can. Then she's got double joint knees that are all ratcheted. Boot rotation, forward and back, and left and right. So, like I said, really cool. Yeah, sucks it doesn't get out of the power bow, but I can get over that personally. And she doesn't look too weird posing with all this articulation either. And the skirt doesn't really hinder things. For any pose that I want her to do, like that one, I don't know why she's doing the dab, but she is. Stuff like that, I mean, she balances. Most of the female figures, like if I bump my Dino Charge shelf wrong, Kendall and Shelby just fall instantly, even if I don't even touch it that lightly. Here, I can tap the review set and she doesn't move. Fantastic. Thank you, Bandai. This is wonderful. Now, before we move on to the In-Space Rangers, let's check our progress with the Dino Megazord. Taking these three parts we just got, plus the torso of the Dino Megazord from the Red Ranger from Series 1, we are missing just one part, which is the left leg, the Saber-Tooth Tiger, which comes with Wave 3's Mighty Morphin Yellow Ranger. But for now, we can assemble part of the Megazord, and I do want to do this. It kind of sucks. I almost wish they would have just stuck the Red Space Ranger only in this wave, and then put yellow in this wave as well. And these joints are really hard to get on. Okay, so we got that there. We'll get the other arm on. These shoulder pads do come off, and they're actually detached in box, I think, to make plugging these on easier. But yeah, I kind of wish that we had gotten yellow Mighty Morphin in this wave, but I understand that they did want to spread out Mighty Morphin a little bit because it is 7 Rangers, and at least every wave has at least 2 members of a team, if not 3. So last wave had 3 Ninja Storm and 2 Mighty Morphin. This wave had 2 Space, 3 Mighty Morphin. The next wave has 3 Space and 2 Mighty Morphin. And if I can't get the shoulder pad on, I'll be very concerned if I can line it up there. Okay, so we got that. And then let's get the leg on here, which is always tricky because you got the skirt armor in the way. Once you get these joints on, like the main joints, like the shoulders and the hips, I don't recommend piling those off. They're really tight. So as you can see here, we have most of the Megazord, and he is pretty dang tall there. Now his hands are open, so if you do have the Comic-Con exclusive Red Ranger Clear Legacy figure that did come with a power sword, you could give that to him. But yeah, that is the Megazord so far. We'll do a full review in the next series, which is scheduled for early 2017. Let's see, can I get into balance? And he's standing, hooray. Really cool. Here we have the In-Space Red Ranger, starting our third team of Legacy figures. First of all, he does come with the torso of the Astro Megazord, which you can see here. Looks fantastic. Can't wait for this one to be built, but we'll put this off to the side and focus back on Andros. Accessory-wise, he comes with this holster, and he does come with an Astro Blaster. And this has to be one of the most beautifully painted pieces of Power Ranger part that I've ever seen, as it is fully detailed. The Ninja Swords were missing a few paint apps. The Blade Blaster's missing a few paint apps. Not this. This is just... I've never seen Bandai do intricate paintwork like this before on a weapon. It's always gray plastic or silver plastic or off yellow-green like the Dino Charge figures. They never do this full paint, and they also never had a scale where they could do it. I mean, except Armored Might. Those came with so many things. I guess the budget wasn't there. But if we're only going to get one weapon per figure, if they're all nicely painted like this, then I am not complaining. Of course, it does fit in the holster perfectly, like that. It looks really, really good. So we can peg it onto his waist here. Naturally, just like with Ninja Storm, this guy can do a whole lot more because of his gun. But let's talk about his head sculpt. His head sculpt is fantastic. A perfect replication, or recreation of the In-Space Ranger helmet. It looks really good. The chest paint is pretty clean on mine, with all 5 of the colored squares, which is super important. Belt buckle, really cool. It's a really simple design, but it's so effective. I love the In-Space Rangers. I love how the backs are even painted on these figures. I just love the fact that we're finally getting fully painted Power Ranger figures. It's been so long, we haven't gotten anything like this before. It is just so cool. You see the collars all the way around. Looks fantastic. He's got the same articulation as the male Mighty Morphin and Ninja Storm Rangers, as he uses a similar body mold. But like I said, with his gun, he is so much more effective than any of the Mighty Morphin Rangers in posing. So you can kind of have him in a casual, like, kind of pose there. You could even have, like, the... because of all the articulation, you can actually have him draw from the holster to fire, which is pretty cool. Gives a lot of options there. The only complaint I really have with this figure is that they didn't include like an extra hand with a trigger finger, maybe. That would have been kind of neat. Since he does have a gun, it would have been kind of cool if he was able to pull the trigger. But, you know, that would have been a little bit much here. And of course, yeah, it would have been cool if the Spiral Saber was included. And maybe could combine with the Astro Blaster, but we'll see what Zane comes with. I don't know. Honestly, super cool. Super, super cool. I love this figure. In Space was the first Power Ranger season I ever remember watching as a kid, so having a really nice collector's grade figure of the Red Ranger is awesome. But what makes it even better is it's not just the Red Ranger. We also have the Yellow Ranger. Here we have Ashley, the Yellow Space Ranger. So happy to have a figure of her that's really good and not the really weird original 5-inch figure that had just the worst proportions ever. And she also has a skirt, finally. She comes with the left leg of the Astro Megazord. We'll take a look at that further in a little bit. But here she is. Uses that same fantastic female Legacy body mold. And she looks great. Honestly, really, really happy. I'm glad that we got 2 female Rangers this wave, and we get 2 female Rangers next wave, too. It's really great. But here she is. Head sculpt, fantastic. Paint job, fantastic. And even boots. Everything is just really well painted. She comes with the same Astro Blaster as Andros, which is where my only complaint with the figure comes in. This gun is gigantic for her, and she has trouble holding it. But her articulation makes up for that. Her detailing makes up for that. And now I'm just so happy with this figure, especially since she's got pretty good range of movement, even with the skirt. Honestly, gonna say that the only thing missing from these In-Space Rangers, I mean, yeah, Satellite Stunner, or no, Star Slinger, that was her weapon. That would have been cool to have, but I'm still gonna say she's fantastic. She looks great with Andros. I love how these two were together, because they were together in the show, and then they got shipped together in the same way, which is just awesome. Really love these figures. I really want Psycho Rangers. Bandai's never had a better opportunity to make Psycho Rangers. Really hoping they do so. So let's take a look at that Astro Megazord. So we do have to wait till early next year to get the other parts of it. We can plug this in. I love how the ball joint is open on top here, which means it just slides right in. And now we have a one-legged Astro Megazord figure. He looks good. We will take a look more at him when the rest of it comes out early 2017. It kind of sucks this wave does not complete any of the Build-A-Megazords. Wave 1 had a complete one with the Ninja Storm Megazord. Wave 2 does not complete one, which is kind of a shame. But Wave 3 will complete 2 of them, so it'll be pretty awesome. But yeah, let's take a look at this wave as a whole. Overall, Power Rangers Legacy 6-inch Series 2 is fantastic. Everything that was wrong with the first wave was basically outside of personal weapons, which is just a whole debate in and of itself. The Wave 1 figures had a lot of loose joints. They held in most places, but they were loose. These all have ratcheted joints. They're much sturdier. The paint quality is higher. Everything seems to have gotten better. The only real issue is the silver belts. I think the silver belts are a problem. Hopefully they get addressed at some point, but if they don't, I can live with it. It's not something that's going to be a deal breaker. That Dino Megazord figure, I can already tell I'm going to enjoy the heck out of that once I get the other piece to it. So really happy with Series 2 of the Legacy figures. My favorite has to be Andros, second place Ashley, third place Black Ranger, fourth Pink, and fifth Blue. That's just character personal preferences. They're all fantastic figures. Really can't wait for the next wave. The slow wait between wave 1 and 2 was tough. The wait between 2 and 3 is going to be trickier, and then 3 and 4 is going to be a little bit longer of a wait, it seems, until we get Zeo Rangers next year. Really excited with this line. It's the Power Rangers toy line I'm mostly focusing on collecting. The Ninja Steel toy line has not interested me as a whole lot, so expect more reviews of these. I just want to keep promoting how cool these are, and also just keep reviewing them. I really enjoy these figures a whole lot. So overall, the 2016 releases of the Legacy 6-inch line are fantastic. This line is off to a fantastic start, better than DC Multiverse or Marvel Legends ever started off with. This is already off. It's hit the ground running. Bandai needs to keep the momentum up, keep releasing waves. We got 10 figures so far, and most of 3 Build-A-Megazords. I'm so excited. This was my favorite line of 2016. I want to just say thank you, Bandai of America, for deciding to do this and then putting everything into it to make it really good. And if you're going to be selling $20 Power Ranger figures, you need to make sure the value is there, and the value is absolutely there. The articulation is better than most collector's figures these days, and they come with Build-A-Megazord parts to build really large Megazords, too. They're not like small figures. The detailed paint on the weapons, just get the personal weapons out. If it's a weapons pack, if it's, oh, we just, bundled in, here's a Ranger like the Silver Ranger, and he comes with all of the weapons for the Space Rangers. Whatever it is, really hope that they get some way of releasing the Rangers' weapons. That would be much appreciated. So looking forward to 2017, looking forward to Series 3. Till next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.